The main focus of Wiio, I think what we're developing is trying to create, a customer relations. We're trying to make sure that we are very close to our customer, very supportive to them. We're very attentive. We want to add as much value to the customer as we can. The one thing that people want is the relation with the company. If they can touch it, if they can trust it, if they can feel it, if they know what it's about, and that's how you get ahead in the industry.
You're listening to Ecomonics, a Debutify podcast, your resource for one-of-a-kind insights into the world of e-commerce and business in the modern age. This is Joseph. I'll be presenting a wealth of industry knowledge from interviews with successful business people and our own state-of-the-art research. Your time is valuable, so let's go. Tebo, coming to us from China, representing Wiio, one of the most important dropshipping companies, dropshipping agencies on the market right now. It is an honor to have you here. Your company is making a huge difference in the e-commerce space, and it's just thank you. It's good. It's good to have you here. How you doing today? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your show, and I hope this podcast would be awesome to, would be awesome to share our opinions on the dropshipping industry and about Wiio, of course. This is why we're here at the end of the day.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to hearing some of your opinions on it as well. So we got some key objectives. We definitely want to know as much as we can about Wiio. So for people who either don't understand why it's important to work with an agency such as Wiio, or they decided they want to work with an agency, they're just trying to pick out which one. This is a really important episode for people because this is a pretty pivotal decision to make. So first question though, this is the Ecomonics tradition. We got to know. Tell us who you are and what do you do.
All right. So basically, we are the fulfillment order agency. We basically handle all the dirty work for the dropshippers. We make sure that they get to enjoy just marketing their business and focusing on the storefront or the front of the business. Instead of just having to hassle around finding the products, purchasing them, and making sure they get to the customer. We handle that all for.
Terrific. And I can say too that on my own burgeoning pathway to becoming a seller, right now I have encountered what is a pretty significant issue, which is shipping times, where I gave a friend a product code. I basically gave him like 100% off. I just wanted him to order the product just to test it, just to see. As of this recording, it's been 3 weeks and the product hasn't shown up. In fact, we're starting to think it's not going to show up at all. So this is one of the main things that really gets in the way of people's ability to get into the e-commerce industry and feel like it's such a significant disadvantage. Because Amazon can deliver things within a day. Nobody can beat that. But we do need to try. And we need to deliver on our products as quickly as we can. And yeah, like you say, we got to get rid of the dirty work. So can you tell us, for one, how your company came to be, and how it started off, and how it was able to rise to the level that it's at now.
All right. Basically, before it became Wiio, it was called Sumatech. It was doing just basically basic warehousing for the e-commerce industry, and then Sam, the owner, found a gap, and he saw that the e-commerce industry needs someone to fulfill orders for them, make it easier for the dropshipping, because dropshipping, was on the rise. And that's around 2015, and I think that's when the company started or was established. He started this baby, and this is where we are today. We find ourselves as a dropshipping fulfillment agency.
And one thing that I think the audience just wants to know as well before we go any further is, what is your unique role in the company? I see part of it is you get to do the interviews such as this, which is great. But yeah, just let us know what role you play.
All right. Basically, I'm part of the marketing department. I'm with the marketing team here at the company. I do a lot of the PR work as well. Talk a lot with clients if they have any question concerning Wiio, what Wiio actually is, especially the ones we have, the subscribers we have on YouTube. I try to get as much contact with dropshippers on Instagram and all the other social media platforms. But we have other guys as well. On Facebook, we have other people working on Facebook. So I do a lot of PR work, and a lot of the I'm starting to do a lot of the YouTube content. We're trying to push content, and this is what I basically do for the company.
And I'm wondering as well is how you came to join the company. Were you did you look online? Were you recruited, or what were you up to prior to joining the company?
I basically studied here in China, and as soon as I graduated, my lecturer was a teacher, could I say, a teacher of what the boss on my
Hmm.
boss's for his masters. He was doing his masters, so she was the what's the word for not protege, the word for someone who's under who's
Mentor.
above the protege, the mentor, right? Yes. She was his mentor
Yeah.
for his masters. So because of her, I was one of the good students, a top student in class. I wouldn't say I wasn't the best, but one of. So she hooked me up, and with time I found myself here at Wiio. It was because of my lecture in university.
Well, that's terrific. Now, I mean, we could get into a whole like domino effect where we find out, well, how are you studying in China? How do we do that? If we have time, we'll get back to that because I think that's a curious story in of itself. But I was looking at some of the Wio content. I saw I guess it was the tour that known dropshipping expert Steve Tam was. We interviewed him like way back. He did a tour of it, and I have to say I was blown away at how really impressive looking the place is. It's got a nice lounge. It's got a front desk. I think like the walls are marble, and it just blew me away how prestigious it looked. So, can you speak a little bit more to what were some of like the major milestones and how Wheel was really able to expand and become such a heavy hitter in the e-commerce space?
I think everything that with everything it takes time and consistency. It started very small. It started with 4 people. It started with just Sam, the president of the company, and 2 other people. And with consistency and hard work, and obviously the government here in China does make it easier for businesses to start. It's very supportive of startup companies, so they had a backing from the government as well. Um, with consistency, like I said, and then we find we are being where it is now.
That's terrific. Well, I think it just goes to show that these fundamentals about consistency and determination and it, being open to receiving help from other sources who are willing to provide that help, like you're saying, the Chinese government was willing to provide business backing. You take the help when it's offered, and now it is what it is. Um, there are other competitors out there. I've spoken to quite a few, and I myself being in the dropshipping space. I'm a burgeoning seller. I have my own. I have pick of the litter, right? I've been able to really talk to all of them, so it's fantastic for me to be able to hear from the different companies. Um, I would like to know is what makes Wheel unique. What does Wheel like to do to give itself an edge? Where does it focus its priorities on? And we'll take it from there. We'll expand on that from that point.
All right. Well, the main focus of here, I think, what we're developing is trying to create, a customer relations. We're trying to make sure that we are very close to our customer, very supportive to them. We're very attentive. We want to add as much value to the customer as we can. Because when you look at what most of us do as drop shipping supply agencies, it's very similar. We all go through the same challenges. I mean, we go head to head when it comes to shipping times as well. I think offers the most one of the most fastest shipping times for any agencies here in China. I quote one of the most fastest shipping times. Um, and we feel that it's very important to focus on the customer, on what they want, and giving them great after sales service, um, replying on time, making sure we try to get people who speak the languages, because we also have a huge market in Brazil. We're getting someone who can speak Portuguese now. So what we understand is we want to focus on the customer, on what the client wants, because that's where we'll get an edge. Most of the things nowadays are getting becoming automated. It's so easy to get a software,
Mhm.
and you'll get efficiency from it. But the one thing that people want is the relation with the company. If they can touch it, if they can trust it, if they can feel it, if they know what it's about, and that's how you get ahead in the industry. Um, or with anything in business nowadays, people who choose a brand or product, they want to know now what it's made of, what its story is. Does it have a story? They want to relate to it. They want to almost touch it. They want to, I don't know, but they want to be close or feel
Mhm.
a part of the brand itself.
Right. I think one word that I would use to summarize a lot of what you're describing there is we want to connect. And it's kind of a worn out refrain at this point because we've been under a COVID situation for the
Of
last year,
course.
but people are dying for connection. And it's it's one of
Mm.
the reasons why we've switched over to doing video content because we want people to see each other's faces. I've been kind of like I've been not gonna lie, I've been a little greedy because I would turn on the video content, but then we would just put out audio content. So I would just turn on the Zoom call. Hey, I want to see your face, but the audience cares about them. Well, it's really important, and people want to connect in any way that they can. And now, when you're saying the customers, of course, I'm imagining that the customer is, of course, the person who is selling to their own customers. So in this context, that the customers working with Wiio are the sellers, and it's important that sellers too are also creating those connections. Um, I got to say, I don't have quite like a formulated question to really say. I try to go one step above and not ask you like something really simple, but it's going to have to be a simple one this time around. Can you tell us about some of the connections that you made with the sellers and how and the feedback that you've gotten from them and how they feel like your company has really made a difference in what they're doing?
If you go to a blog, I feel like most of our reviews, when you get there, they tell us that um, I'm quoting you from customers. They tell us that we have great service, great feedback. They can even name the sales management agent's name. They know them by name, showing that we do try to get very personal and very close and very attentive to our customers. Which is very important. We try to stay as consistent with one customer versus agent. Excuse for the lack of a better word when I say versus, or whoever the sales agent is. We try to make sure that the sales agent is consistent that with that one customer. You don't just switch them over. Um, but of course, we still want to create value by quick reply, quick response. So you might not be working with one agent all the time. The agent that's available to help you with whatever you need will be there. But the great thing is, most of the clients remember the agent's name, showing you that we do try our best to get personal and close with the customer. Not too personal though, in a business sense. Very attentive to our
Yeah.
customer. Yes, we try our best.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any consistent listener to this show knows that I personally like getting into the personal side, and I do have my own sales background as well. I spent a lot of
Oh,
time in watches, and like the last job that I did before this one was we were doing luxury watches. So it was interesting because I got to have a Rolodex of clients who were all very high profile. We had one person who was like an active Democratic politician. Like we looked up his Twitter and we saw, well, yeah, that guy, the guy was chewing us out. Yeah, he's running for office in like I don't know Michigan or something like that. And then we all kind of like sat around for a second and we thought, Man, it must be nice to be a public servant and be able to afford these luxury watches, huh? And so it's crazy to think that we could form these connections with people, and I think that there is a uh, a delicate balance between wanting to become personable and really wanting to understand and see see the customer eye to eye, but not get to the point where we end up like making really
Indeed.
close friends with them, where we start to put almost start to value like their interests more than the company's interest. I don't know. It's a hard balance, but what about your experience? Have you found any insights in trying to balance out between like connecting but not too much?
Yeah, it's very tricky. You might still need to consider that this is a customer that you're dealing with. It's very very tricky. You have to get the balance right. But with everything, you learn. Sometimes you might make a mistake here and there. But the thing about people that once you form the relationship, it's very easy to be forgiven. But when you sell on promise and you don't deliver, you might find it hard to be forgiven as well. So relationship actually helps you. It helps you if I miss a step. It's so easy to be forgiven because they now know who you are. They now know that's not you. I know you can do better. Even as a business, as much as professional, as much as you need to be professional, they will still, be able to forgive you for certain things. I think people are scared because to try anything because they don't want to make mistakes. You know, and I think that's where we lost things over the years. Is that when it came to business, we just figured, um, let's just be out and out, super professional. Yes, it's very important, very vital. Don't misquote me on that. Very important, but I think
Mhm.
you can also show, more a partnership, a friendship in a way. Getting the balance right takes time. I think you should just allow yourself to, see how to get it right, and eventually, yeah, you'll know what to do.
Mhm. I remember one person that I had got along with quite well at another sales job way back. This was a retail job. I'm on the floor, connecting with customers, and I think we recognize that we wear different faces. We might even see we wear different masks when we have different environments. Like I do put on a different face when I'm interacting with my relatives, a different face when I'm around different friend groups, and it's the same thing in business. We do put on a different face, and it's not like I go, time to pull the wool over their eyes. No, it's just we just have to be considerate about how we interact. And she liked me a lot. She even actually brought me chocolates one day because she was so happy with the experience that I was giving her. And part of why she was so happy with it is because she understood the context. She understood that I still work here. I still have a job to do, and I still have to prioritize that. And when we go above their expectations for what they think the experience is going to be like, that's when the connection really starts to roll over and you're just washed over with positivity. I'll get to a question, I promise you. But the downside was
I'm interested
that
in what she
store had
says,
let me go.
actually.
They had a, thank you, I appreciate it. Well, that store let me go. The new district manager came in. She let me go. She let my manager go, and we had a good cry that night. And I remember visiting that store about maybe 3 or 4 months later, and that woman who really, appreciated me, she didn't realize that I had been let go. She thought I quit, and it completely changed her opinion on me because she thought that I wasn't loyal. She thought that I just didn't value the long-term benefit of being there, and I had no way to tell her that. So it can be unfortunate. I think losing relationships, being in a position where things have to be let go, that's the hard part. Is trying to then, how do I find her? Right? Do I look her up online or say, "Hey, you remember me like 10 years ago?" But no, I wasn't let go. I was sorry, I didn't quit. I was let go. So there's a lot going on there. And I just wanted to share that with you because this is just one example of how hard it is to really understand how to build these relationships and maintain them. So I want to bring this to a particular subject, which is building trust. So from the beginning, there's two parties who need to understand they trust each other. The company needs to understand that the company needs to trust the customer, and the customer needs to trust the company. So on your end, what do you want to see in the customers you work with? How do you, as a company, feel you're able to trust them? And then what do you do to build trust with the customer who wants to work with you?
um, Good question. I think a lot of it
Thank you.
has to do with chance, giving it chance. You really need to try to instinctively discern who you're talking with. Um, it takes time. It takes time knowing people and understanding them. It takes time with you being experienced in the business of working and relating with people. And I believe trust is gained. Yeah, we have to gain it. You don't just would say, "Let me trust you," and it's a tricky way. But the best thing you could do, or what you could do now, is if you are more transparent with them, if you have a story to tell, if they can see inside of your company on your YouTube channels, if they can talk to one, if you can give them your number and reach out. You also have to show something concerning what we are trying to do and what we can do. Is if they maybe have my personal number, one of the clients have my personal number, and they can see that they can reach out to me anytime. you know um there's only so much you could do. If someone could have trust issues, naturally they wouldn't trust anything. But we would try our best, by putting whatever content that we can put out. Are we showing them insight on how we operate? How if they, are we showing them warehouses? But even though if we would do that, it will still be like this could be any warehouse. Someone could just be paranoid and say, it could be anyone's warehouse. It's still not the place. They could have taken any video, because now you can't just come to my place right now with the whole COVID situation. So it's something we're still trying to find, to be honest with you. And we understand that we need to create this trust. We need to, and that's what we're working on. That's what, like you mentioned earlier, one of the USPs, or what we're trying to be as Wiio, is focus on the relationship that we have with our customers, and that has to do with building their trust. And I think the other thing is, are we delivering on our promises? We have to be consistent. And that's one other way you build trust, the consistency. If you're not consistent, are you consistent in communication? Are you going to get back to them and tell them exactly what's going on? You know, are you able to offer solutions if there's a problem, and tell them, okay, this is what we can do because this is what's happening right now? There's another way of building trust, the communication that we have with the customers. Um, and we hope we also get the same feedback from them. But at the end of the day, it's purely business. If the deal falls through, it falls through. If it doesn't,
It's a churn rate, right? If one Democratic politician no longer is a fan of us, we just move on to the next Democratic politician. Um, there were 2 points that I thought were interesting about your answer. The first is that building trust is obviously tantamount, as we heartily agree. But there's a bigger picture issue, which is building trust in the whole industry. There's one story that I've said so often that I think I actually owe somebody a free coffee by now, because they got the punch card and they punch it every time I tell the story. But I ordered this product called a hands-free bracket, and it was delivered, but to somebody in Montreal, and I never got it. But sorry, no, it was Quebec. Well, Quebec is a province. Montreal might have been the city. I didn't look into that part. And I go onto the website, say, "Hey guys, you sort of sent us to the wrong province," but the website just didn't exist anymore. And that can be, and a lot of people are having that experience. There's images where people will like order a dress online, and then they get the dress in person, and it's wait a minute, I thought this was blue. This thing is white, and all sorts of things are going on. And so I'd say one of the main issues is the industry as a whole has a trust issue, because there's a lot of people who are taking advantage of, I would say, the naivete of ordering online for the first time. Um, Is this something that the company is aware of? Well, I'm sure you're aware of it, but is there an effort to address sort of like the trust issue and the skepticism of the industry at large?
Yes, we're very aware of this issue with the e-commerce business. I myself would have experienced one or two, problems or difficulties when I ordered something online. I'm like, I expected something, that's different. It happens to a lot of us, and we honestly trying to um, gain the trust of the client as much as possible. We're trying to within our content as well. Like I said, um, how do we communicate trust with them? How do we with our ends, how do we communicate trust with them? And that's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to strategize on um, uh, what what can we give them that will say that we trust them. But then the issue of trust is basically consistency. Are you consistent enough with your dealings? We really understand, and it's unfortunate for people who are actually reliable, even though they're reliable because they had one experience in the past with a different agency, a different establishment, a different company. It might be a misfortune for you because now they just have, a negative idea of doing shopping online. Um, but somehow we are stuck now because of the COVID, and we can't reach to most places. We can't just go. So it's opened this market now where people are now forced to do business online. You know, it's not whether they have a choice sometimes. Um, yeah, but we are well aware of the trust that customers have, and I believe we are very consistent in our dealings. Just go check on the reviews on our websites and on our YouTube channels, and see how people react to Rio. And that's one thing people should do, and I believe they do that. I believe clients check on the reviews to see if this place is legit or not, which is great for us, great for companies. The fact that there's a
Mhm.
system where you can see reviews on that, and I encourage people to check reviews before they just order or become partners with companies. Yes.
Mhm. Well, the other point too that I wanted to raise, and I can add in everything that you've said here into it, which is that there is like this arms race when it comes to skepticism, and then relieving that skepticism, where somebody might read a text review and they say, "Well, for all I know, they got somebody to write that review." Somebody might see an image, they say, well, maybe that's photoshopped." They see a video now, and they might think, "Well, that's probably just deep faked." So skepticism is constantly evolving in the same way that how we gain that trust with customers has to evolve with it. And what I find is fascinating, and this is really just an observation more than anything, is that just using it as an opportunity to be more human. Um, Doing content like this, where we get to have a conversation, doing content on YouTube, having blogs, showing more images of the people, is peeling back that veil. We don't so much have to have the corporate image as the only thing that people see. It's really just about people working with people. The other thing I want to say too, this is just like another story that popped into my head. Are you always saying like when maybe some people they're burned on something and they just there's no coming back for them? I will tell you because maybe you guys will find this experience valuable. But that happened to me once with acupuncture. I was having stomach problems and I went to this naturopath and I'd seen her for a number of weeks and she said she would try acupuncture. And so I'm laying down in a bed and I'm getting needles. Boop, 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 boop. I know that's not actually the sound effect that they make, but just for audio listeners, that's what we're dealing with here. And I'm laying perfectly still, and this itch slowly starts to creep up on my side. And I think, okay, I know I got needles in me, but I really need to scratch this itch. I move my arm just slightly, and some of the needles start to adjust and spot, and all of a sudden I am in a lot of pain and I can't do anything. I'm too scared to even like to scream out. Luckily she comes back in, she starts removing the needles, and I just said I moved my arm, and one of them I guess moved in place. And so that was almost like 11 years ago, and I've never even considered acupuncture again, because sometimes people just get burned on it and they gotta move on. I just wanted to tell that story because sometimes really, there are ways I think to
Yes.
regain trust, but I think the issue is it takes a lot of resources and a lot of extra effort to reach out to that person. So I don't know if like I would even be an advocate for acupuncture, even if they did regain my trust.
True. Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. What you're saying. I believe we have had that kind of an experience. Maybe not the exact experiences to having acupuncture, but we might have a
Yeah.
bad experience with something, maybe a meal. You've had a meal at some place and you found something that you didn't want to find there, and all of a sudden you don't want to order takeout anymore, or something like that. Or even when you order takeout, you're a little uncomfortable. You don't have that confidence in ordering out. You would prefer to just eat in and make your own food. That's just an example. So I believe that's
Mhm.
true. That's very true. Companies have a lot of work in that sense, especially e-commerce companies, um, or online companies rather. They have a lot of work to try to gain trust. It's almost like if you find a lady that was broken-hearted. It's gonna be so hard to break down those walls, because now she has issues with trust and all of that. Oh, but then if you really care about the customer, if you really care about what you're doing as well, you will take the effort and time to try to gain their trust. You will do whatever it is, whatever it takes. I think people think business is just the relationship between the problem you're solving versus the income you're getting from it. But business is really about people. It's about, as I'm saying, it's solving a problem. You know, you're actually solving a real legit problem for someone, and they consider that, wow, you helped me so much, let me give you this in return for it. So in as much as you just want to look at it as a black and white sort of scenario, I think there's always a gray area in business, and people can manipulate it. People can find uh, 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 um, a way in that gray area to get what they need, get what they want from me. I hope I'm making
Mhm.
sense.
You are. I think you make an important point, and I love your analogy too. By the way, that if somebody is brokenhearted, if you really care and you really love that person, will understand. And in a way, when you come out the other side, it creates an even deeper bond. So yeah, I think that was beautiful. Um, so I got some other questions I want to get to too. I mean, we can spend 3 6 hours like talking about trust alone because it's such a fundamental subject. But here's one that I really wanted to make sure that we got to because I have to say I was surprised about this. So let me set this up. On AliExpress, we recognize that it's far and away the cheapest way to get our hands on products. One story I like to tell, I'm pretty sure historically I've mentioned the company. I'm going to stop doing that because I feel like it's unfair to them. But there was a company that were selling, for those of you who are watching the video, these compression gloves that I'm wearing. And the company marketed them to me, found them on Facebook. I paid $20 for them. I was happy to do that because they did the marketing for it. But then I learned through an interview with somebody else earlier on that these things are actually like $3, $3 or $4 on AliExpress. So I go to AliExpress and I get $20 worth of these gloves, and now I've got one for me, one for my girlfriend, and then an extra pair in back. So when Wiio says that pricing is actually cheaper on AliExpress and yet has so many features to offer, I gotta ask, how is that possible?
If I'm trying to understand, are you saying Rio is cheaper than AliExpress? I just want to understand the question.
Yeah, I mean that's what I absolutely yeah, that's what I had seen. If we advertises that the products can actually be cheaper than on AliExpress.
Yes, there's a number of factors that we can consider. With that, I think the issue is AliExpress might not add shipping rates, and we are quicker than AliExpress, so that might be added on to the actual price of the product itself. The product itself is not is probably cheaper, but because we have faster shipping rates, that might add to the price of how we get it to you guys. So that might be the reason why you find some of the products a little bit pricier than AliExpress. I don't think all products on Wiio are mm, pricier than AliExpress. I think a lot of them are very, very, very lower than AliExpress. But that it depends. It depends on the product. It also depends on the shipping method you chose. A lot of people complain that AliExpress might be a little bit take a little bit longer than ours. Most shipping drop shipping supply agencies. So that's one thing to consider is whether how quick are you willing to, or how fast you want your product to get to you.
Okay. Would you? I when I looked into shipping, I saw that there were some different shipping options. So, can you expand on the shipping side of it, just so the customers who work with Wio understand what options are available to them?
Yes, there's a couple of options. The most popular one is the e-packet, which is very convenient. I think a lot of people use it. It's a little bit pricier than uh, most of them. If you go to the website, just check and you'll find the other shipping methods that we have.
I think that's a good place to look. So, the next one I want to ask about is the quality check. And now, one of the things that I think is really important to these agencies is products are vetted. They're tested. The company wants to make sure that if they're going to ship something, it's held to a standard. But then there are different product lines, right? There's toys, there's beauty products, there's apparel. So can you tell us about what can you tell us about the quality check process and how standards might be set differently for different product lines?
All right. So basically, we have a team in the warehouse that does that for us. They basically they work very hard on it. The sales department is usually the ones who would tell you a lot about the quality checks and the process within it. So if you just go to anywhere and you check on our website, there's a chat box that we have, and if you wanna get more details on how the quality management or quality check goes, just go onto our website and you will find it. You'll find more details and more help on it.
Terrific. Um, I did have another one along these lines, and I do think this is another one of those where the customers can check on the website. But I'm going to throw it into the mix anyways, just in case there's any particular insights, which is about sourcing. I understand that you're looking to source viable products for drop shipping. Now, I mean, usually the copy and the way to promote these products is to look and source for winning products. And I've gotten a lot of feedback from a lot of the guests on Ecomonics is that there's a debate here about how much of the product itself is inherently a winning product versus how much of the product is reliant on the marketing, is finding a different angle for it. So my question for your company is, when it comes to sourcing products, what is the criteria set, and if so, how do you determine what could be a winner?
Okay, so basically we have a few dropshippers that we usually talk to in terms of what the feel of the market is. So we go on different sites, we do our market research on what's working, what's in season. We check the season as well. But then one of the things you should check is, could you find the product in a convenience store? You'd want to avoid finding the product in any other store. So that's one way to check what a winning product is. Another way is just going online on YouTube. you take on other, influencers, KOLs. They can help you find how, which winning product it is. That they might give you some tips and ideas on which winning product or what is a winner. But more or less, I think the biggest thing that you should look out for is basically avoid products that you can find in a convenience store, and know the season that you are in. I think that helps a lot on a winner product. Know the season.
Mhm. Yeah, that's definitely a valid point. And I mean, one thing I'll say about I get where you're going with the convenience store example. I would also consider stuff like going to Walmart, or for me, being kind of like a tech computer nerd, going to slash business office space nerd, going to Staples. Personally, one thing that I find with convenience stores is that if I look at a product, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get the cheap version of this, but in order to find like a really good premium version of it, I might have to look elsewhere. Get like I'll buy like a walnut cracker that looks metal.
Right.
Then I open up out of the package. I'm like, oh, this is just plastic. So there's like limits to what convenience stores are. But I think it's a really good general point, which is, we there are products that I think these major retailers or even smaller stores, they just don't think it's feasible to carry, because they just don't see the potential in a product to sell large enough. And we know, when we individual sellers, and we tell a lot of the people who are looking to get into drop shipping is, focus on specificity, focus on a niche, and really like zero in on something particular and put the energy into marketing it. And then even if I'll never see it so long as I live in a store, I still understand intuitively how important it is in my life. So there's a lot of really good insights there.
Of course, we do offer custom labeling and custom branding. If you want to move into your own space and custom labeling, we can help you with that. It's all there on the website if you check it out.
Okay, so
Okay.
I think with questions like that, it's the more important part is like, is it there? And the answer is yes. So that's all well and good. Um, so the next one that I want to ask about, this one is an economics question. This is like I've asked this question whenever I get to talk to agencies. It's about learning in aggregate, or when you collect information from a lot of the people you work with. One of the great advantages to an agency is that you're learning something from all of the different people that you get to work with, and you have this big pool of information and insights that you can then share with other people. Um, so, is there anything that comes to mind, or anything that you've learned from all of the people you've worked with that you've been able to kind of like share with other people you work with?
Yes. I think the biggest thing is being able to inconvenience yourself for someone else. I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen with the people I work with. Even though they have a certain deadline, they are willing to help you out with something that's very urgent if it's really necessary and it's needed. I think a lot of us might think, oh, let's just focus on what we're doing. I just want to get ahead. You know what I mean? And one thing that I've learned about these people is they are very collaborative. It's so easy to work with them, and they are willing to inconvenience themselves for the next person, considering the priority of the task at hand. And that's one thing I think I lacked. I always thought I should just get ahead, and we all need to get ahead with whatever we need to do, and slowly but surely, it's not that necessary. I think if teamwork, sorry, makes the dream work. If you allow yourself to just um, focus on someone else other than yourself, something beautiful happens there. Uh, There's magic that comes out of it.
I think that's a great point, and I think it speaks to a lot of what we've established earlier on, and just about creating and building trust. And I think another great lesson that I was able to learn over this journey that I've been on, hosting this show, for which I am eternally grateful, is that when we view these issues, however form that they take, is that it's an investment opportunity. Um, we don't if we look at it at a cost, if we look at it as a cost, we've made a mistake in our minds. We look at it as, a way
course.
to get the most value out of a relationship with somebody? This is a bit of this might be a bit of a challenging question, but I think it's an important insight. So, do you have experience where people have actually gotten to the point where they move on from the company? Um, is it positioned so that somebody, even if they're their highest position, they've reached their end game, they've scaled up as much as they can scale up? How do you retain customers in the long term so that no matter where they end up, they would still look to your company to continue the working relationship?
I think it may happen. It may happen that someone wants to, do their own thing. It depends on the kind of resources they have. I mean, whatever that we are offering is something someone can figure out, uh, uh, um, and try to do it themselves if they have a big enough team. But with the efficiency that we're doing it, that might be the issue. So what we try to do is do it with as much efficiency as we can, and we progress with time. Time and time again, we've never seemed to, disappoint on that on that matter. So I think the biggest thing is trying to be efficient in your dealings when it comes to the customer. Are we efficient enough? Are we quick enough? And that's how we're trying to retain our customers, including trust as well. Building that, you point out a very good uh, matter or point, that you need to gain their trust. But it happens with commitment and efficiency. Are we efficient enough? And that's one way we try to retain our customers.
Yeah, I think that's I can definitely see that being the key deciding factor, because if the business is running so efficiently, then if somebody were to try to move on, what they'll find is that they're losing time, they're losing resources, and so it just wouldn't be practical. It just wouldn't be worth it. So I think that's fair. That's a really good answer to the question. So, so Tebow, we still have some time left, but we don't have a lot left. And I think I could be wrong, but I think this is the first time I've gone to speak to somebody in China, which is kind of telling because China really is the central point for a lot of what makes e-commerce possible. So here's one thing I just want to ask, because I'm just like deathly curious, is what's life like in China? Like what's
When I
what are
go
the
back home, because I'm from Africa, I'm from South Africa. In fact, when I go back home, whenever I get this question, it's really challenging to answer in just a brief answer or a summary. It's so hard, but it's very different. The people, they are very nice. I've never seen such such a kind people, such a kind group of people. Um, um, Life here in China is here. There's fast paced. You could say there are parts of the country, parts of the land which is more easygoing, but in most of the cities is kind of quick and very fast paced. Very cultured people. Very cultured people. They are very in touch or in tune with their traditions and culture as well. You have to really understand where you're from, and they do try to accommodate other people as well. If they, I don't think there's any other place I've been where I've seen such kind. That's the biggest thing, that's the first thing you notice about Chinese people in general, is how kind they are, how they're willing to offer help, offer a lending hand. um, but the one issue that I had was the language barrier. A lot of people can't, speak English. Many do speak it, but you might find it challenging to find someone who, especially with the older generation, the more mature generation. Yeah, many of them, they don't really speak the language. And you might find it very difficult, reading the characters as well. You have to learn them. But lucky enough, we have translators these days. Where I come from, when I saw that you could pay, with your phone, everything is done on your phone, I was amazed. I don't think we have placed systems that would allow us to, pay with our phones. Although there is now in my country, but it's not as popular or as common as it is here in China. I think the technology is second to none. Excuse that I'm saying, I'm putting them high there on a pedestal, but they are, they are have world class or state of the art technology. They do, they do.
I appreciate the answer, and I also appreciate when you had said that to summarize so much about who they are and what they do in such a short amount of time is almost not doing them a fair service. But I think the fundamental takeaway from me is their kindness and how accommodating they are. So I that to me is kind of like the takeaway that sticks out in my mind. Um, Secondary to that, I also was wondering if there's anything you'd like us to know about the company culture within Wio. As far as I know, it's probably the biggest in terms of like people working there. It's the biggest dropshipping company that I've talked to so far. Not that I've gotten a head count of every agency that I've talked to, but I think it's pretty much that. So I think there's a lot of responsibility for a company like this to pave the way for what company culture in this industry can look like. So, what would you like to tell us about the company culture at Wio?
Um, All right, when I first came in, because it hasn't been that long since I only started working on from last year. It hasn't been that long for me to since I started working here. But what I can tell you is you sense an equality. Like there's no clash of egos as such. Everyone is almost on the same level. It's so crazy how the boss himself, there was one meeting we had, and what surprised me is decided to sit at the back. I mean, the chairs were in front for him, they were prepared, but then he just decided to sit in the front. He told them, "No, no, your seat is in front." So it's like, "No, no, it's okay, it's okay." I've never seen such. I'm very humble. A lot of people are very humble in this place. So what I do understand is the go-getters. We want to get things done. We want to make sure we get things done, but we do have a sense of humanity within the company. We're not just out and out business that's hungry to thrive, but we still keep a sense of humanity within the company. I don't know, but we find a way to find the balance, between being about business and also being about the people within the establishment. um, and that's one thing I sensed as an outsider when I came within the company or the establishment. Is the humility, the sense of humility and the humanity that's within the establishment.
I think that's a great answer to the question as well. So for people who are like new to the video content, by the way, y'all are gonna have to forgive me. I'm still figuring out the layout. I just realized that I was like looking to like one side the entire time because of just the way I found your video set up. So sorry about that, guys. A bit of a learning process for me. Uh, so we're on the cusp of letting you go, and I want to just make sure that we share some of the opinions that we might have wanted to talk about earlier. Because I remember saying at the beginning, talk about the company and share our opinions on it. But because we're kind of close to our end here, I'm gonna throw to you a more like a broad-reaching question, which is overall, how would you assess the health of the we specifically drop shipping I think dropshipping, of course, is a key component and it's an important part of e-commerce. But to say how would you assess the health of e-commerce is crazy. We don't. I don't want to do that. So, how do you feel about the dropshipping industry in specific? What would you like to see forward for 2021, and as well as what would you like to see, or where does your company want to continue to grow in the coming year?
I think the dropshipping industry is going to be more competitive because I think a lot of people are really catching on it. There are markets that haven't been open for quite a number of reasons, but I believe there's potential in so many places. If you look at Africa, the reason why online buying and selling is not so popular, one is maybe they haven't placed, we have not found a way to place online payment. That's one of the issues. And another thing is, do people have access to smartphones and internet and the rates? But I think they're catching on, so there's a new market that might unfold, but that's not for 2021. But what I'm seeing is, in the future there's going to be a huge market and there's going to be more entrants, um, more competitive. That means more competition because of the new entrants as well. Um, I think it's at a good place. I don't think. I don't think there's any sort of, um, what's the word? There's any discouragement, for lack of a better word, of the industry as well. If there's anything bad about it as such, except the issues of whether people trust buying online or not. I think with any industry, there's still an issue of trust. Even with the traditional market, you also had your trust issues with your retailer or whoever you want to do business with. You still needed to, establish a sense of trust. I think trust is always going to be a challenge for whatever market you're in, whatever business you're doing. But I think it's at a good place right now. What I see is new entrants, because yesterday I was talking to someone and they were like, they're interested in dropshipping. Where do we start? What is dropshipping? More and more people are actually interested in dropshipping, I feel. So there's gonna be, expect new entrants. That's what I can say.
Terrific. I think for me, just seeing from what I'm seeing, starting as an outsider and slowly feeling my way into the e-commerce space, is that I think it's showing how important the industry needs to be cohesive in order to function and to grow and thrive and to handle the incoming responsibility. And I think that's why agencies and dropshipping services are going to be a key component of this, because the alternative would be somebody who wants to have decent shipping times would start ordering stuff into their own home, stack up a bunch of them in a room somewhere, and then send them out. And now I've talked to some people, by the way, who do business styles along these lines, like say they do a subscription box. So there are ways to go about it where the profit margins are good and it's not like a crazy amount of effort. So it is doable, but we're talking about scaling to like tens of thousands of people to the point where there's just no room in a person's home. And this is, I really, one of the things that I was mystified the most is how are people going to be able to convince people to shop somewhere other than Amazon? And and I think having an agency such as yours understand this problem and solve it is going to continue to encourage people to get into it and bring their unique experience to it. Because one thing I can say is that like there's so many unique experiences that I've had so far. Just recently, we talked to like our first person from the music industry. We've talked to people from retail. We've talked to arts and chefs, and everybody has a pathway to becoming as free as they want, and commerce is the way to do it. So, so thank you for your contribution to it, and the last thing I want to say before we get you on Addy is if there's any final words of wisdom you'd like to share, here's a chance to do it. And then give us the web address so we know where to look.
All right. I just want to say for anyone who's an entrepreneur or dropshipper, um, I believe we need to understand that with any business that we want to do, it takes time. I think a lot of people who want to start dropshipping want to see instant success and instant income. And I think you should look at it in a long-term sort of view. Whatever that you're doing, look at it as an investment rather than looking at the cost. I like how you put it earlier on in the interview, and I think I'm going to take that with me as well. I mean, look at the investment instead of the cost and what you putting in now, and don't look for instant success. It's going to take time. With everything that is solid, it takes time. It needs a foundation, it needs understanding. So I think give it a chance. If you feel you want to start drop shipping, give it a chance. I think you need to give it time. Um, and our website is called this www, or where you'll find us is www.wio, wiio, sorry, .io. So it's www.wio.io. And then you
Terrific.
can
Well,
also
this has
check
been
us
great.
out on
It's
Instagram and Facebook. Oh, so sorry.
I know. I sorry. I thought you were. I thought you would stop there. Yes. So Instagram and Facebook. Um, and yeah, I was just going to say it's been a blast to meet you and to learn a lot about how the role that your company is playing. And with that,
Thank you so
that's
much.
everything we're going to do today. So listeners, you're welcome so much. It's been great. All right, listeners, take care, and we will check in soon.
So I've been doing that since 2015 and been growing those since then. So.
Hey, this is Joseph from Ecommerce. Just wanted to thank you for being here and for giving this content your time and attention. I hope you learned something. I can say with certainty, I have learned something with every episode that I have done, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. There's a couple things you can do to help us out. If you want to check out the audio content, we are available on all major podcast platform distributors. And while you're there, give us a 5-star review. It helps a lot. And while you're here on YouTube, there's a lot of things you can do to help out as well. It's not going to take very long. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button for this episode, and hit the notification bell so when we have new content for you, it's going to be at your doorstep ASAP. Lastly, this podcast is created by Debutify, the best Shopify template available. It is 100% free for you to start, and it can change your life. It can make you so much more free than you are right now. So if this episode wasn't enough to convince you, I think a few more might do the trick. So have at it.